Good evening and welcome, Free Enterprise fans. My name is Dathis, and I am in fact joined here by JMac in the booth for a wonderful, fantastic Canada Day long weekend. How you doing, JMac?
I am doing well. It's Friday night, and it's my favorite time for some free enterprise. So I'm very excited to see once again this Sid Hero engineering heroic flag set tonight.
Yes, we have some fantastic objectives as you see them all up on the screen. We get to liberate the Baron Castle, open the Troya Treasury with the Earth Crystal, destroy the Super Cannon, and get to forge a special weapon for Sid, as a matter of fact, before we find ourselves a
Yes.
crystal. I am really looking forward to the Fiery Hammer.
I love the fiery hammer. I think it's a great weapon. I do love the utility of the axe, especially if you've got a sitter and a cane. I mean, a Cecil or a cane. But yeah, all of Sid's weapons for, Sid being kind of that utility character who's also really slow, he gets some really fantastic weapons. So I always love a good super forge for him.
Absolutely. And I think my favorite part additionally is the fact that we have Luca Sid. So we have the true builder of tonight's seed right here alongside with us.
Yes. And you know what? Tonight we've got a great race, a great on stream collection of racers, some newbies, some fan favorites. So I think we're going to get a really great show on stream tonight.
Indeed. As a matter of fact, big shout outs to Made in Quebec, one of their very first showings here in Free Enterprise. Going to be fantastic to see how things go and see what kind of stuff some of the newer players can bring up here. I am always a big fan of seeing the rookies because myself, what 2 years being restreamed, it's fantastic, and the community, you guys have been so welcoming to everybody, whether they're new, whether they're old guard. It's just it's just been so nice to see, especially all the fresh faces that have been slowly coming around.
Yes, I love seeing all the bravery of these newbies willing to be restreamed because that is definitely not something that I like
Oh
to do all the
no.
time. So props to Made in Quebec, also Fiery Blizzard, who is relatively new and always jumping in, as well as always J Brun and Rex Banner. I hope that we get to see some classic Rex Banner plays tonight.
Indeed. I'm excited. I'm actually really excited for whatever wild cards we can see going on. We have 12 people racing tonight. We are off. D-Mist is giving us a Protect Ring with Porum. That is probably one of the best starts you could see. Even get a Dwarf Axe, so if we need, we can back row glitch Sid right there. You really can't go wrong with this kind of start.
No, absolutely not. And just the guarantee that you know that you've got a white mage right there from the get go, especially because with Sea Hero on, you're not going to be looking for an anchor because Sid is going to be your anchor throughout the whole game. So knowing that you have that guaranteed white mage who learns Berserk and Blink really early is going to be really helpful getting through this early game.
Absolutely. And speaking of early game, we're already seeing a little bit of divergence in people. We have Jay Brunter checking out Troya, and we have yet another white mage with an earth hammer and a poison axe in there behind a Valvalis that nobody really wants to go and say hello to.
But she only has 400 hit points right there.
Yeah, but it's still not something you want to deal with. That exact, maybe not quite just now. Give her a little bit of a second there. We are getting a free key item from Edward, so nothing to start with. But we do see a white spear. Is there a cane coming around anywhere?
Well, Rex Banner is about to check on Hops to see who that character is going to be.
Rydia and a Mylon of some flavor. All right, let's see what we got.
Hey, gotta love a good Rydia, that's for sure.
Absolutely, I'm a big fan. Mylon Zed getting knocked out pretty quick. I would agree taking this Rydia. She's not going to be staying down. If you can find something okay for her. With the T Wild-ish, I almost guarantee we're going to find something good. But Fiery found something really nice for the Sid. There's a power shirt sitting in the Troya lower treasury.
Yeah, that public treasury is also really good for the starting party, including the Rydia, because there are dancing daggers in there as well. So this seed's off to a really quick start.
Indeed, a whole bunch of power, and it's going to be really good to see that the quick early fights are going to be nothing to scoff at. Rydia getting a chunk of levels if we find a summon for her, which we do have the minor possibility of doing. We could check to see what's going on. Oh, and Jade Runter is in fact giving us a little view. The list of all of our tournament champions.
I don't think I knew this was a thing.
I didn't either, but I'm so glad that he's showing this off. Sometimes, like, they always say that a lot of the NPCs have different discussions that they talk about. This is an Easter egg that we have not seen. Like, and huge shout outs to the fact that Jay Brunter is following his memes. I'm a huge fan of any runner that just goes hard into memes.
Yes, especially when it's gonna shock and surprise not only the people watching, but also the people in the booth right now. That's great.
Absolutely. The Mighty Quacks. That was a tournament that I forgot the Twin Invitational. That was a long time ago. I remember a lot of 2v2 races were happening. But back on target, Jay Brunter getting some, not Jay Brunter, Rex Banner getting some loot here down in Antlion Cave. Nothing really spectacular. I saw a Dragoon Shield, but we have nobody really to use it because most all axes are two-handed. Made in Quebec also getting that Rydia, and Fiery Blizzard is doing more looting here in the in Damcien.
We do see another Earthhammer down in Damcien as well. So this all the loot in this seed seems to be coming up Sid.
I mean, he is the hero. It's kind of what we want. We want to see all this kind of stuff going on. Additionally, we do see a fairly rude boss and a very, very nice spot to find him. Low magic power, low HP, so you kind of just are okay with letting Sid just walk around through this fight.
And we are going to make pretty quick work of this Ruby and hopefully get our first key item of the game from the Antlion Cave, but we'll see momentarily.
Yeah, the key items have been light, the items have been alright, and we are ready to go all night, especially with a black shirt for that Rydia.
Well, maybe for Bull.
I mean, maybe, but it looks like we're going to be doing a nice, long, leisurely run of the overworld with the lack of key items, which honestly, as a runner, you hate to see it. As a commentator and a viewer, you love to see runners just go,
Oh, well, that was kind of convenient. The Carter administration chest has an exit, helps Rex Banner get out of Antlion much quicker.
Yeah, also, shoutouts to Tall Grant, who has pushed all of 0 buttons. Please don't eat those. He's working very hard in protecting them from Possum Morpheus right now, because that is the only thing that they have needed to do. Also, again, huge shoutout to Tall Grant, to Firebird Lover, actually, for putting this on and letting us do all the chatter, while we have a lovely bit of background of people running around. And yeah, hey, look, Rex Banner's right. Going right to Fabul next for you.
Good.
Something interesting, I usually used to see a lot of Watery Pass looting. We're not seeing it here tonight, and I'm kind of okay with that, honestly. It is one of my favorite places to personally loot. Watery Pass and the back of the hobs are 2 personal favorites, but so far it's just nothing special. We do see a Sylph that was being sold because we have some Charm Arrows, which are going to do pretty good work with on that forum.
Oh yes, it is interesting, just the early game loot that we've seen each of these runners do, and how no one went to Watery Pass and no one's been to Eblin. So we're all doing kind of like more creative looting patterns tonight.
Yeah, the opening was very off for everybody. Everyone went different spots. We also saw a heroine robe there for lovely forum to be another one of our murder childs. Rydia, again, has her choice of bows and arrows and dancing daggers. But we have a good time in the Plague here, going to be taken down by multiple different arrow-like weapons between the Dwarf Axe and any of those charm arrows that we just hit. Going to be a pretty quick fight, really, but this is a speedy spot, very speedy spot.
Yes, I have been beaten by Plague in this spot quite a few times.
Yeah, if you're not ready for it, it is not something that you're going to be dealing with. Also, we do see that the lovely Hobbs flag summon is Shiva, so that ice just being reinforced. Can't quite get through it until you leave and come back.
Oh, I don't think I knew that either. I should have. But that makes sense. I tried to do that the other day.
Well, the thing is, a lot of people, when they see Iridia, who really goes for the summons there, or if it's anything that's not really like Titan, kind of people go, well, this is okay and acceptable.
Mm-hmm.
We see a lot of like mages and goblins there, so less seen Shiva.
Yeah, that's so true. All right, looks like Rex Banner's re-equipped some things and is going for take 2 against Plague.
Oh yeah, like you said, this is a fight where if you're not really prepared or you've never fought it here before and like, oh, I've got enough power to get through this. I mean, it's only about, what, around 2,000 HP in this section here? But it's 2,000 HP that you don't have a lot of time to get through.
Yeah, it's super fast.
Maiden go back finding out the good news that there is still no key items in the sea.
Well, not so good news for the runners. Great news for us. Because what does that mean? That probably means that we're going to see some required summon spots as well as moon spots.
Indeed. K-Summon, Moon, and Main, Summon, and Moon, sorry, tripping over my tongue tonight, are the 3 spots that we have. So it's going to be nice to see those. And we also know that Baron is a triple spot tonight, which is always exciting.
Oh, so we do see that Rex Banner is doing the life strats against Plague, where you kill off a party member and then life them so that Plague is forced to use the Doom again. But Rex did that so fast, he didn't even need to do that strat.
Indeed, better prepared, always ready, and takes out. And we're going to get a look at yet another key item spot. Do we happen to have one here? The answer may shock you. It is a key item, because the pass is a key item tonight, but it is not progression.
Well, progression is going to be either up Ordeals or behind that vow, which we know that cannot be our underground access, so our underground access has to be at Ordeals.
That cannot be our only underground access. It could be a hook or it could be a magma key. It just means that there is less shenanigans on Ordeals where that would be. Because yeah, it's currently a 50-50 shot for underground right now, or 50-50 shot for progression. And if one of those is next to nothing, and Maiden come back actually fighting the hardest boss right now, NPCs blocking the way out.
Oh, those NPCs really annoy me.
Yeah, I know that I've been stuck behind them one way too many times, and it is never a fun time. But you know, you just look at them and you go, "Can you get out of my face, please?"
Look, the one that gets me the most is the one in Dwarf Castle, where he's like blocking the stairs for 10 minutes. It's great.
Yeah, and it's the best when you're looking at them from above, and it's like, "Can we go sometime, man? Like, come on, I got places to go. The timer's running."
All right, so we have people in Fabul, people in Baron Inn. We are trying very hard to find any sort of progression. Gotta love seeds like this.
Yeah, this is where it kind of tests some runners. Like we're used to a lot of like easier seeds, like especially recently. We spent a couple of weeks having an early edge, and he just doesn't care what the overworld is. He kind of just takes it and says, "This is my home. Everybody get out." And that's been about it. But now we're starting to see some rude bosses in places that are like, "Oh, this shouldn't be a problem." But when your power is about a third of what you've been used to for the last little bit, you kind of look and go, "Oh, Right, this is what it's like when I'm not gifted an overworld. And again, they're playing very fantastically with what they've got. It's decisions that are not bad at the time. It's just this is the best of what I have. Also, we see Jay Brunter making very good use of that free Shiva. Rydia, her magic power, fairly decent, and a good 400 damage right there. About what Sid's bonking for. Gets through that fight nice and quick.
So we're about to get our first look at who is up on Ordeals 1. Yeah, this is where you get to fight 3 bosses, but also the third boss is where Sid actually has to go in the crystal room and fight by himself. So that's always a little nerve-wracking.
Yes, the Sea Hero flag. And this is a perfect time to talk about what you can do for J items. Now, J-Mac, what can you do with that Earth Hammer that we have equipped on Sid?
Oh, you can actually use it as an item and cast Quake, because of course an Earth Hammer can cast Quake.
Ah, does that mean that the Earth Hammer is an Earth Elemental weapon?
It should mean that, but no, it's actually also a fire weapon because this is a finely coded game, as we all know.
Are you telling me that Final Fantasy IV is not excellently coded and a fantastic game?
I mean, if it wasn't fantastically coded, we wouldn't be spending our Friday evening playing a 30-year-old video game.
Look, this game is fantastic, and we are going to keep enjoying it. But Rex Banner might be enjoying it. Yep, we have a big doll. The only problem with when you kill one full set of dolls, you do find another set. Fiery Blizzard making use of his namesake, and the item that was inside of Antlion Cave, this is going to pretty much get rid of him, just like Rex Banner got rid of the big doll.
Yes, I do love those J items that are HP based when you have a Sid start, because you can really use his high HP to get through fights like that in those spots.
Speaking of getting through fights with high HP, this is, I think, personally, I would have reset and be like, you know what? I'll use the Earth Hammer in the first spot and save the Blizzard for here, because this is a spot where, look at that Fire 2 damage.
Oh, gotta love it. Good thing Sid has some high HP because he survived that, but we've got to find a way to get through this very quickly, or the magic is just going to take our party out real fast.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, look at these hits are coming out fast, furious, and as long as you, take care of the middle sister, everything should be fine. The fight's not going to be much of a problem. We do see Fire Blizzard on his side doing something the same way, making good use of the Earth Hammer as the J item that it is. Rex Banner got the worst of it gone. We have only down to Sandy. The easiest of the sisters to deal with if she can't get some of this status elementals off, but Wall gonna protect Sid, and Arrow's just gonna make quick work.
And you know, with all that early game divergence, what looks like is happening is all 4 of our runners are converging on Ordeals.
Oh, I 100% don't blame them. You see that that Valvalis, you go, we're gonna deal with you a little bit later, and then you come by and do here.
Oh, nope, just kidding. Mating Beck has taken a turn and gone to Baron Inn instead.
Ooh, are we gonna get 2 key item information bits at once, or
We
oh my
might.
lord, that virus!
Oof.
I just saw Fire Blizzard get hit. This is what happens when they live for too long. Oh, and that was the worst. We have confusion on Porum and silence, and none of the sisters do physical damage.
Oh no.
Yeah, I agree with you, Fire. Like, there are times you just look and go, no, that's enough. Rex Banner, though, is fighting a giant snake, the Canadian open rope up here in Ordeals. Gonna be pretty quick. 600-ish HP here, maybe 1,000. Yeah, wave doesn't matter. Hammer says get knocked down, and we're gonna get a look at possibly the only key item location we have in the overworld from the way it looks. Actually, no, we would have seen it. So actually, Rex Banner did get the hook from there because we were a little distracted by some of the other shenanigans. We have Tall Grant keeping us honest with that. So we have a hook route, which means we have another character possibility, or we can go see Val. And this very speedy, rude Val has not been kind.
No, definitely not. And she's hard. She's hard anywhere, even with just 400 HP.
Yeah, I did not expect her to go down without a bit of a fight. Like, maybe Rydia's summon can do a little bit of work here, if Maiden Quebec had it. But no, we get through with Sid, and we're about to see what the second fight is. Ooh, Antlion.
It's not exactly the boss you want to see right here.
No, this is not the worst. It's got a fair amount of physical power. It counters all physical attacks with a magic attack, so that's not the worst. But should be able to get through here with the chunk of HP that Sid has.
Yes, it will take a little bit, and hope that he does not get countered by those spiky things.
200-ish damage, not bad if it hits Sid. If it hits Rydia, then it's going to be a bit of a problem, but overall, the fight shouldn't be that hard.
Meanwhile, it looks like Rex Banner said, no, I don't want to do the hook route yet. Let me see if I can take on this Val as well.
Oh, absolutely. If you have anything to go through, even a rude Val here at Baron Hand, you say, I'm not do that before I have absolutely no choice but to go underground through the hook route. And yeah, in a similar situation what Quebec has, there's been a lot of weeks going off, low HP, and gets through, and is also going to see that this Antlion is going to be less than kind.
Meanwhile, Fiery Blizzard is taking their second attempt on this Magus Sisters fight. Hopefully we'll have a little bit better luck than a confused Porum.
Oh, absolutely. Also, I want to do a big shout out to Firebird Lover for keeping this stream going. We do know that we've had some technical issues, and huge shout outs and love for the fact that he's been keeping everything going and been keeping us at least on the air. So one way or the other, you've been able to hear and see the fantasticness that is this Friday night community race. Looks like Maiden Quebec has bounced off a little bit of these fights. They are not kind whatsoever, but the nice thing is there is the possibility that they still have a whole bunch of other experience, and there's still some money to be made through shopping percent. So it's not that this is the end of the world. It's there's other options to go through here, and we still have Ordeals that they can get some bonus experience on.
Yes, that is true. Maiden Quebec has not quite done the Ordeals checks yet. Meanwhile, J-Run TR has gotten his hook and is headed back down, and we will see if he's going to go to Baron Inn to take that vow or decide, you know what, I want to go check that gated hook character first.
It is a really interesting decision. If you're not sure about your power for Val, the hook character could be really good. It is one of the gate characters, as you mentioned. We could see a Vanilla Edge there. We could maybe see a Fu. We could see pretty much anything that would make this seed a little bit easier in getting through this fight. But it looks like the hook route is the only way underground. You have two white mages. You have three mages, one Sid, and one path underground with technically 3 key items, but
Oof. Yeah, this is a spoon is great if you find an eddy underground, I guess.
that
on
is
the
true.
hook route, you know, you can equip the spoon at 60 HP and do a little bit of damage there.
Look, we have 2 white mages. They keep him blinked up, and he avoids all physical damage. Now, if it's a magical-based boss, there's nothing I can do about that poor boy.
So, Daphis, if this is your only way and your only progression, do you go and take the Eblin trap chest for more experience on your Rosa before headed down the hook route?
150% for one main reason. We have seen numerous poison axes there, so with that in mind, Sid may be a little bit slower, but you can 100% get one-shots down on those giants that you see there, and get some life glitches going, so you're basically getting a lot of experience. You need to get that Rosa really quickly up to par, although I do agree with Jay Bruns here, and especially you see an Hourglass too, I take any trap chest right now.
Oh, that is a good point.
But again, I like what Jay Brunter's doing, checking here, checking to see what this other character is, because if this is a Cecil, and we can find, like, we only have an Ice Brand for him right now, or any one of the axes, you get him some levels, and whatever boss you're going to be seeing down here is going to be all done but try and get through it.
Very, very true. Looks like Fiery Blizzard has finally made it through that terrible back-attack Magus Sister spot, and he will be going in to fight. I've already forgotten who's in the story. Oh, Leviathan.
Leviathan. Jay Brunter is finding Leviathan number 2, as we have Leviathan for sale in the Emerald Shop, as well as Sirens. So once we get underground, we get eggs, we can crack if we really want, and that's going to be a great infusion experience.
Yes, but we have to make it underground first, and we still do not know the bosses that are going to be gaining the underground. So that could be some trouble.
This is very true. However, you see some runners who do think the runners can figure out ways to get through it. If they can get through the Drop Alice, which has been a thorn in everybody's side this entire time, I'm very confident they can get through pretty much anything in the hook route. They're going to have a very slow Sid anchor. You've got okay damage in Rydia. You should have Berserk on Porum, so you can even have Rosa be just doing archer things. Especially if you found that heroine robe, so she can do good damage. So it's not the worst underground team. I've seen better, but I've also seen far worse.
This is true.
I could introduce you to a lovely seed that gave me a Tella and a Rydia to get through. I believe it was an Evil Wall and a Rubicante to get in. Was it vanilla Rubicante? I can't remember. Anyways, it was just nothing but a pain, and most people's first times underground are about 3+ hours for those who finish the seed.
That sounds like a great time, let me tell you.
I finished the seed in 6. Jay Brunter did take the Stalemate Trap chest. I don't see what he got there, but it looks like a sword of some kind. It could have been an X-Cal, maybe?
It was a crystal sword.
Oh, please let there be a Cecil here.
But Jay Brent TR just showed me yet another new thing, because I did not know when you fight the trap in that room that it gives you the castle background. I was very confused as to where he was for a minute.
Yeah, it's very interesting when trap chests are in spots you're like, but wait, hold on, what? It's actually the same thing in Sylph Cave. If you fight a boss in the room with the Sylphs, it does the same kind of background.
Interesting. I love this game so much. I learn something new every day.
Oh, I'm here for some deliciousness tonight. That is a Vanilla Edge. We have ourselves a Luge guarding the underground. And who's paired with him, we do not know, but it's going to be a good time.
I mean, look, out of all the bosses that could be there, Dr. Luggage is definitely one I'm okay with seeing, honestly.
Oh, absolutely. He is not that tough. All that HP is split between 3 different locations, and all it is just big bits of bonking. So we just need to get through there. I'm pretty sure we have not seen a Thunderclaw yet, which is a little unfortunate, but there's ninja and longswords here, so this is kind of Edge's time to shine.
Yes, again, it's almost like the seed was just giving these runners everything they could possibly need for the characters that are available.
And then nothing but headaches to get through certain sections. So that means we're going to see... who should we see here that's going to be rude? I guess we're going to be seeing Baigan here in the King Queen Evelyn spot, because that would be fantastic, just to continuously go that whole, hey, by the way, you thought this was going to be easy? No. Fire Blizzard doing, as I said earlier, going through these trap chests in Evelyn, gets through the stalemate in the back, and is going to get through these skeletons, which have a fair amount more HP than you'd expect for undead, especially if you don't have a crystal sword walking around, but Rydia just tanking those hits in the back row. Ice Claw, Ninja, Longsword, Zeus Gauntlet, and if he throws the Power Shirt on Edge, I'm kind of here for that level of damage right now.
Yeah, there's not much that Edge won't be able to get through.
And I also see in Jay Brunter's thing, I thought, oh, those are mute arrows. I was going to say, I thought I saw a mute dagger, but I am very wrong. Either way, if there's even mages down here, we've got mute arrows for this Rosa. This underground path is not going to be a whole bunch of a problem for anybody, really. Again,
all right.
minus we see the Brood Cecil here, maybe.
And that Trap Chest Fiery Blizzard was rewarded with an X-Cow. So we've got all the shiny swords for Cecil and no Cecils to be seen so far.
Now, that is actually a really nice sword to find, because that means if you have, say, a Rude Boss in the first spot, that Edge can get a first... well, I was going to continue on that sentence, but we don't have a Rude Boss, we have a freebie. Hey, remember that Hourglass 2 I was talking about?
Oh, yes, of course.
So we just kind of toss that down and throw out this flame, and then it's a good time, although that forum lives on 10 HP. That's, well, lucky.
Meanwhile, Made in Quebec has done really quick work on that Magus Sister spot and should be rewarded with his hook very, very soon.
Yep, taking the safety save. I respect that. This is, after 2 fights like that, you're just like, nah, I don't want to fight them again. And Rex Banner getting through his first quad Mad Ogre chest, while Fiery Blizzard is seeing another trap chest. I'm just curious what kind of loot we're going to have here, but Rosa getting all those levels, already up to Berserk. We have huge power. Only an apple. Bridia's not going to be unhappy with that, but aside from that, the levels for Rosa was the real treasure along the way.
Yes, especially because she was a late addition to the party, and we are able to slingshot her up to Berserk really fast on one chest. It's good planning.
Now, speaking of great things, did you happen to catch what was in Fiery Blizzard's chest there?
I may have seen a few arrows that will be of use to many in our party.
Absolutely, and the nicest thing, the fact that they're going to be so useful, is the fact that we also have Sirens against some Durgans. It's going to be some quick and easy XP once we're underground. But right now, it is ball nab time, and Jay Brunter is going to be putting this fight through real quick with these Berserk casts here.
Oh, for sure. I do love to see some good berserking on Edge. I love seeing the berserking with Fiery Blizzard with his Murder Porum. And then we see Rex Banner getting through these soldiers, and Made in Quebec got through the Crystal Ring, so we are progressing very, very quickly through this seed.
Indeed, the first about 20 minutes or so of the seed was a lot ruder than we were expecting. And again, it's always nice to see that. And I'm seeing some other loot. That trap chest up there as well. We have a ribbon as well, so our main characters are kind of protected from pretty much anything you see here. Wait, is that an Artemis bow I saw also on that forum?
I don't know. But if it is, that forum is definitely going to be murdering some bosses down the hook route.
That was an Artemis bow Heron robe forum with a protector. What do you want more for your female characters to do some damage? Like, that is, bless this. We got a cat claw too? Holy. We got also. This is why I love seeing T. This is the loot goblin in me, and this is why I love T Wildish. This is just like, I see all the pretty things, like that wants them all, and you just like are so happy with seeing the fun things. And we see a very rare sight of Balnab Z here. Managed to take out Luge first. I wonder if we're going to see the button press. I kind of want to.
I don't know. That's going to be pretty close.
Yeah, the DPS is coming out fast and furious. We have another round or so, I think, of people getting DPS in before. Oh, no button press. It gets through. That's a lot of HP to get through. Forum swapping arrows, and we have Yeah, just a lot of damage in this comp right here. And speaking of damage, Maiden Quebec grabbing that Leviathan. That Rydia is, you can put her physical, you can put her magical. She's just ready to swing for the fences like everybody else.
I love a good seed where Rydia gets to hit things and magic things and do things other than lay on the floor, so...
This is true. There's nothing wrong with having Rydia sit on the floor for pretty much an entire seed because she does require the most XP out of anybody to become, quote, useful. But aside from that, like, if we can get her to time... Oh, speaking of on the floor, that lasers... Those lasers kind of hurt at this point in the game. But as I was saying, Rydia can do a whole bunch of things depending on what you see. You see a Leviathan, or even, like, again, that Shiva summon. Decent-ish damage for the early game, mid-game. Leviathan tears you all the way to pretty much late. And if you get yourself a Dragon Whip and a Heroin Robe, well, she's going to bonk things in a very different way. Because here we are, 30 minutes later, everybody's converged. There is not a whole bunch of different paths. And Rex Banner is through that first phase into the second fight, and we have Jay Brunter, who is through both phases, finds the trap, and is our first runner underground. 33 minutes and 15 seconds on the land. 18 seconds.
We do see a CPU at the top of tower. Not a terrible boss, but also not one I'm probably going to run to right away.
Without Edge being back road, I 100% agree with you there. If we had a quick back row glitch for him in the way of one of his thrown weapons, I would be very tempted to take it because we have Sid who's already back road, we have two archers in Rosa and Porum, and we even have Edge's good DPS. Sid will do okay, so it's like, it's a fight that's just very simple if you wanted to go, if you want to do a really cheeky fight. But until I see the super cannon, which is our objective, I don't see people going there yet either. I kind of agree.
We are going to get a look at the dwarf item shop. See some hourglass 2s, good pickups for sure, especially to do those sirens. Because I don't think that Jay Brun has found the Artemis arrows.
No, but we do have the Artemis bow as well. So there is the possibility that you keep that and then you wait until you can go onto the moon. But with the siren to hourglass ratio, you can still knock out one or two down here and save some for the moon if absolutely necessary. And we have Edge who could steal some more, so there is that possibility as well.
That is very true. Rex Banner has also made it underground at just under 35 minutes. So we are about to see some more routing choices and see how our runners are now going to tackle the underground.
Speaking of tackling the underground, Maiden Quebec does find a couple of other fights that he's less than happy with. I kind of agree. Some of these fights are just looking, go, you know what, I want some more, and I want that Rosa, because again, Rosa is going to be invaluable. The more wow, speaking of invaluable, that was a Bahamut that is absolutely unnecessary, but that Grimoire rolled nice and high.
I mean, Bahamuts are always necessary, let's be real.
Overkill is in fact underrated. You are absolutely right. Yeah, but Fire Blizzard getting through that one fight. Nice, quick, easy, and then we have the luggage fight, which honestly, not threatening until you get to phase 2 because of that beam. Now, the beam and laser are two different attacks, and when I say it's threatening, J-Mac, why is it threatening?
The laser?
Yes.
It's HP based, I think.
Correct.
I have no idea.
No, you're right. You're good. That is 100% it. It is based on the max HP of the enemy who is using it, so laser can throw some... Hey, look, an Excalibur that we can throw. But yes, it is 100% HP based, and when you're at a high HP spot with, or a middling HP spot with low HP on a lot of people besides like one, it's gonna one-shot 90% of things.
Huh. I've picked up more than I thought I did.
You know what? And that's the thing. It's every seed you learn something completely different. Like, I didn't know that there was a hug skill in this game for the longest time.
I do that, but that's from PB to J.
This is very true. Also, question from chat, is every free enterprise run randomized? Pretty much all of them are. We do find some vanilla things here and there, which is why we love it when we see it. But you can make it as random or as straightforward as you would like it to be. Speaking of straightforward, we have a lovely set of imps that get hourglassed and get ruined here.
Yes, and meanwhile, Rex Banner peeked the bosses at the Fey March and found an Evil Wall and a Bahamut and said no thank you and left very quickly to go do the Sheila 1 check.
Enough Star Veils and that Bahamut is extremely free, if not long. I agree, don't mess around with that just yet. It's going to take some time to get through the remainder of that HP because its own damage bounce back will not be enough. But Leviathan's being thrown out up top, and Fire Blizzard is getting through very slowly, but doing real good damage. Look at Porab knocking out 2 grand.
And Made in Quebec got through Baron in and got his Rosa, so he should also now be headed back down the hook route, a little more confident with his ability to take on those 2 bosses.
Agreed, and I see taking all the arrows and everything off, saying, Rosa, I have some gifts for you. Porab was just holding on to them. Rex Banner taking in that Sheila 1 check, while we have a duplicate Rydia joining us in the underground. We are taking it because Jay Brunter still had that free spot because he did not grab the Rosa.
What's better than 1 Rydia? 2 Rydias!
Absolutely agree. Don't ask Oscar that because she'll say 0 Rydias.
Well, Oscar's not here tonight, so.
Perfect.
Oh, and that Sheila 1 check yields the tower key, which now makes that tower much more enticing because now you have 2 key item checks.
Absolutely, I 100% agree. I would be very hard-pressed not to just kind of like book it down there right now and try and take it, because it's like, yeah, the 1 fight's going to be a slog. Just go after it because why not? And then take the things there. But looks like Rex Banner has a little bit of a different plan, or is just swapping ships.
Oh, we're going to swap ships. Why do we want to fly around with a drill on our front?
Because it's called the Falcon, and Edge named it. Poor Edge. You give him a ship, he names it, and you say, no, I don't want this. I want what Sid made for me. I mean, this is Sid's seed, so I kind of understand, but...
Yeah, that is definitely true. Gotta have the Sid mobile.
Also, Sid put that drill on it. This is things he builds. Do that as well. We can make arguments back and forth.
All I know is that when I fly the ship with the drill on it, I can't fly it as well. Maybe that's just purely speculation, but...
This is true. I mean, that's the thing. A lot of people say, oh, I'm better with this ship. Well, I get that. I also did not see the key item that was Dwarf, but we have a Darkness Crystal. All right, so the entire world is open. It's another character. That is another grind that's open to us right now if we really wanted to.
Xenocat does bring up a good point that when you do the tower, you get the Enterprise ship anyway, so that might have been a little bit of a waste of time. Good points, Xenocat. Thanks for pointing that out.
When it comes to fashion, nothing is a waste of time. Like, let's be real here. I may be, in fact, some of the people who have swapped out characters of the same type for a different fashion palette, because if it's not the palette I like, I don't use them. Hey, I'm guilty of that, and I know that's extra time, especially with equipping them and leveling them up again, but that's my palette.
So we do see Fiery Blizzard taking on this Bahamut down in the Fey March. Should be using some Berserk strats as well as getting some Star Veils up, and we'll hopefully make some pretty quick work of this Bahamut.
Indeed, some Star Veils, some really good damage coming out from some of the other people. We may see one or two go down because we can't get a Star Veil, especially on this Porum, but the damage reflected is going to be working it, though she is shooting out those arrows fast and furious. Gonna see the damage reflected, while Jabrunter also taking a nap down here. Looks like he may be taking a shot at some of these Feymarch bosses as well. Porum gets blarged. That is quad 9s even straight to Porum. I forgot how much magic was in this spot. When you're not ready for the damage.
I mean, if you're gonna get hit with Mega Nuke, it may as well be quad 9s.
Absolutely, and we get Porum up, and she goes right back to doing her thing. I'm pretty sure Reflect is not going to be needed. We should be able to rip through the last bit of the HP. Porum was putting out some good damage. Edge is obviously doing some good damage as well. And Rydia popping out 2-ish with these Leviathans, which she's got a lot of MP at this point now. This is why picking up this Leviathan is never a bad thing. Rydia gains MP really quickly.
This is very true. Meanwhile, on Rex Banner's side, we actually saw him just go and do the cannon room, and then came back out and was only rewarded with a samurai shield. So I think right now he feels like he can't take on that CPU at the top of tower with any speed. So that's not a bad gamble play. Unfortunately, just didn't work out today.
Very true. It also does depend on what else we find up there. If that key item, the key item from top of tower is nothing, then it's a great gamble that he's taking. Little Fiery Blizzard finished gambling. We have a Magma Key, which you don't like to see except for your 10 key items, but we're going to get through it anyways.
Our tracker, Tallgrant, pointing out that Super Cannon Room is an objective, and if I had looked at the objectives, I would have realized that that's exactly what Rex Banner was doing. So thanks, Tallgrant, for keeping us on track.
Absolutely. And about 40 minutes in, we have our first objective done. Well, our first on-screen runner. Just to remind everyone, there are about another 10 people running who are not on stream. So we have a whole bunch of people running, a whole bunch of times we're going to be seeing in soon. But these 4 runners tonight, huge shout outs to them for the fact that they let us restream them and show off the skills that they want to show us tonight. Fiery Blizzard taking probably the nicer spot for this evil wall to be, but also not something kind. This is a spot that is very, very fast, and you have to do a lot of damage really quickly. As you can see, it just 3 actions before Porum even finishes casting Burst.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those spots where you wish you have a Moon Veil. Would definitely make this a lot faster, just because these hits are just a little too hard.
Yeah, I also think that this is where you need like a full team, and this is especially where that Rosa would be coming in perfectly handy. You can have Porum or Rosa doing out insane damage with this bow and arrow combination. You can have the other one basically keeping everybody topped up, and it's just more hits, more bodies to spread the HP damage around, which is very, very necessary in fights, especially where it's just you're throwing HP and you're straight up racing.
Now we do see Fiery Blizzard going to the end, so I think he's probably going to try that strategy exactly and see if he can get his Porum quick enough to get through that damage before the evil wall kills everybody.
And question from chat: who is ahead currently, if anyone? So technically, Rex is ahead in objectives. Jabrunter is ahead, I believe, or tied in checks, but everyone is pretty much neck and neck because one decision can change this race from even to one person way out ahead.
Yes, this is true. Rex Banner is about to get his Darkness Crystal after he beats this Ashura. So then that would make him more ahead because he has one objective down and the entire map of checks at his disposal. But like Dathis said, it's anyone's game still, because any check could lead right to exactly where you need to be. And we've still got a lot of key items left to find.
Indeed, it could be like we could have someone go and do a cheeky top of tower check, and that could be our Baron Castle key, which could lead into both parts of Forge through the Earth Crystal as well. So like that top of tower could just be the rest of the seed, or it could be nothing. Like it's one spot is always could be the difference maker. Like, oh, we're gonna sleep on this, we're not gonna worry about it until this is the problem. Wait a minute.
So we have Jabron TR doing his Sheila 1 check. We'll get his tower key very quickly, and I assume we'll head up tower. And Fiery Blizzard is making much better work on this evil wall with a full rested party, and Porum doing a majority of the damage. I think he's going to be able to get through it this time.
Absolutely. Edge and Sid throwing out Cure 2's gonna be keeping everybody topped up, which is necessary. Ooh, that is a high roll hit on that Sid, which is a little unfortunate, but a life pot will get him back in the action. Yeah, that Porum is not taking any damage.
And here is what I love to see with Fiery Blizzard is, you know, Edge is normally the one hitting everything, but he also can be a chemist if needed. And so you lean into different characters like a Porum, who can actually probably do the most damage right now.
Yeah, and especially on T Wildish, it makes it so that certain characters, you get them a little bit of gear, like this, like, again, if your gear all rolls physical attacking or something like that, then yeah, you're going to see a little bit more edge. But if you see the mages with the archers who get to do all the work, then yeah, like they're just going to sit down and do this. Like a Porum destroying an evil wall is something you look at and go, this is not how it should be going. It should be edge, but I'm here for this. Let Porum, and look, Baron Key. This was a check that's very cheeky to do this early on, and look at the reward for Fiery Blizzard.
That payoff is huge. Major props to Fiery Blizzard for doing something that I don't think I would have ever been brave enough to do in a race.
Oh yeah, I would have looked at those two fights and been like, we're going to come back here in about like 20 minutes after I've ground up and checked some other places, and then we're going to go do the shenanigans that's down here. But Fiery Blizzard says, no, I want these fights right now. And honestly, never punished. Like, that's fantastic. So we do know that one of the routes through Objective 1 is through that check there. So that does mean that our runners are going to be going back and getting two of the four keys of this seed down underground, both being the Magma and Baron keys.
I'm interested to see what Rexban... Oh, he is going to get a boomerang to back row his edge. Very heads up to remember that the boomerangs are there. And also coming in to grab a few sirens so that he can get some more levels on these mages underground.
Yeah, seeing some of the fights that you've got right in front of your face, that is a very good call, because it's like, okay, that means we either have to go to the moon and fight some fights there, which I'm nowhere near powerful enough for, or we have to go and fight those summon bosses, which I'm almost at that power level for. A couple of eggs, no matter where they are, is going to give it to me, and a couple of cabins, I'd love to see the pickup.
And just when you say, oh no, moon bosses, Rex Banner pulls a Rex Banner, and he's going to say, I'm going to go play on the moon.
Wait, would you say, in fact, bang, zoom straight to that moon?
Maybe so.
And yeah, there's the shop up here, which we got some more items. We do know where our sirens are at, so this is more of just a, hey, is there any other more fun things? Because while those Hourglass 2s are nice, they're very expensive, and we have some things to sell in addition. You're kind of more hoping for some Hourglass 1s, possibly?
Meanwhile, Made in Quebec has made it through the hook route and has joined our runners underground and is headed straight for that freebie in the Fey March.
Also, a shout out to our restreamer who has let us notice that he wants to see when we notice anything. And if you look at around, we have a Rydia lover doing commentary with me today, and I, Mr. K Vanilla himself, am here. We get to the ones who get to do the shenanigans in chat, and we have Firebird doing the shenanigans on screen. Again, big shout outs to him, and also huge shout outs to Tall Grant, who finally gets some buttons to push and has been pushing them fast and furious.
Oh, I love that. That's great.
So that's also a fantastic thing about the community here. We get to have a whole bunch of fun. Like, yeah, these races they're not quite so serious. We get to do shenanigans like this all the time. It's a pretty fantastic thing. And speaking of fantastic, and vanilla, you ask for it and it is summoned from the sky, quite literally. There is Foo. That is how you're going to rip through a majority of this seed. That's vanilla, and I'm greatly here for this. No,
Exclamation point has joined the party. Goodbye, Porum.
Also, yes, as pointed out by Skullakitty, who does the wonderfulness that is all these great sprites you see here, well, the different color to the sprites, we have a Discord that you can join us on. You can, in fact, if you want to join us in the shenanigans, that is these races, or if you want to join us in the chat, and maybe do some commentary, feel free to join us, join the Restream team. We are fantastic. We do our best to be as inviting to everybody as we possibly can. Is your skill level through the roof? Fantastic. Is this the first time you've ever picked up a seed? Perfect. We have more than enough sages that can teach you everything from what certain boss scripts are to all the things up to 1200 HP strats.
Which is something that I still have yet to really get a handle on. So, you know what? You can learn things every day by watching and playing.
I've kind of come to terms that unless absolutely necessary, I've straight up refused to learn them myself, but yeah. Again, every strat is viable in different ways. They're great to learn, whether you need them or not. They're just nice to have in your back pocket. Fiery Blizzard, speaking of, taking the key out of his pocket, unlocking a door, and going to see what happens next. We're going to see what boss we have. We do have that Demus that we've been excited to fight for the longest time, and then see who's sitting on the Baron throne.
So, meanwhile, Made in Quebec went and got his free key item and got his Sheila 1 check, so should be headed to the tower to get his first objective.
Absolutely. And Jay Brunter has finished his objective, gets that super cannon absolutely destroyed, and I'm here to see exactly where we go next. Whereas Rex Banner just says, you know what, let's see what's happening in the LST right now.
I love it. Here's to hoping that there's a cheeky free boss in the ribbon room, which he tends to find when he does these early moon dives.
I'm so excited.
And then hopefully there's an alt gauntlet at the Massive Throne holding the adamant rock. So, you know, a little of this, a little of that.
Yeah, we gotta have the good freebies that throw everyone for a loop, and then the cheeky you just look at it and go, wait, hold on, what now? And you could have done this, we could have had this done forever, and then, oh, now I have to come back in about 20 minutes after I find the grind. But speaking of coming back 20 minutes later, Jay Brunter decided, nah, we're gonna take care of this fight right now, and is getting a good shot off with this CPU fight. Again, I kind of agree with this. You got more than enough power, you got more than enough ranged DPS.
Yep, and it will be a little bit of a slog, but not too much. And you know what? Then the tower will be complete, and you'll know whether or not where you need to go next. So not a bad play at all.
Absolutely. And we see here on the throne, we have a different sprite, different castle, but here in Baron, we have the King and Queen of Eblin decided they wanted to take over and rule Baron today. Not going to be for very long. They're going to get probably sliced and diced here because they have a low-ish HP. You could just hear through the dialogue, but oh, I didn't see the oof. What's going on?
Oof! Baigen is in the ribbon room.
Oh, no.
No, thank you.
Yeah, that's a fight you don't want to take. This here, though, is something you're kind of okay with. We do see ourselves, Mylon and friends. Not a hard fight, but that's a lot of HP on some of the other enemies. If we have a Fire Claw, that's going to be even better for this edge, because he's just going to tear through pretty much anything that's necessary. Fiery getting through the fight.
Fire Claw, but
I think I saw one in an inventory at one point, but I could be very much mistaken. It has been a lot of inventory back and forth, and we do have a Yang though, and we're going to see what key items there, where Made in Quebec is taking some trap chests. Honestly, kind of wondering, like, with this party, what would you be going through the trap chests for? You could possibly be looking for, like, a Bahamut, I think is the one thing that you find. Ooh, an Avenger. That's a bit of a womp considering we have no Cecil or Kane.
yeah.
Also, very cheeky, Made in Quebec accidentally summoned an enemy. Does use the life glitch on it because any experience is good experience right now. He is rewarded with a strength ring of anything you get. Probably one of the more solid pickups.
Alright, so Baron gives us a pan. And we're about to go see what is at the Odin throne.
Choo! Excuse me, it's a little drafty down here.
Bless you. And also, I think this spot is going to be a little bit punchy with this punch mage.
This is true. However, if we can keep the HP up on our healers and they can keep the blinks up, this honestly is not as much of a problem as you may think. The kicks, yeah, a couple of hundred, not the worst in the world. The punches, though, as we saw 600 on a back row Sid. That would hurt anybody in the front row. Yeah, I'm excited to watch someone get one shot up. I want to see Ed. Wow, he did. Fire Blizzard doesn't care. He's like, all right, we're gonna get blink up, and now we're berserking. That's a man after my own heart right there. Porum's like, I could heal you guys. We could keep y'all alive, or burros. Meanwhile, we have Rex Banner down to just the Mylon, getting some nukes off, thrown off in the microwave. Oh my body skip, and oh my goodness, we're gonna see some levels. That is a Luca key. Key items you like to see, because that just does mean more checks. But yeah, question comment in chat, and I kind of like this. Pora missed the memo that this is Sid's seed. No, that's accurate. That she takes out yet another boss with one other person standing.
Look, it might be Sid's seed, but he's doing so much work anchoring the party that, you know, someone else can do a little bit of the damage. It's fine. We're sharing the responsibilities tonight.
This is true, and we do have yet another key item. This one is something that we can make at least a little bit of use out of, and that is a pink tail down there in Baron. This entirety of Baron was a pan and a pink tail, so we're hoping maybe we can get a rat tail from one of these Sheila checks, just so we can do the one-stop shop in the Adamant Isles, and then be done with moving around the hovercraft. But while we have a little bit of time with Rex Banner doing some healing and going to give us some new ground, and J-Brun and Fire Blizzard walking around in some areas, and Made in Quebec taking care of this check here in for Objective 3. I want to give a big shout out again to our runners, Fire Blizzard, Rex Banner, Made in Quebec, and Jay Brunter, not only for showing off, but also Made in Quebec for doing their very first community race restreamed with us tonight. And additionally, I want to do a shout out to our restreamer and our tracker behind the scenes, that is Firebird Lover, and Paul Grant for keeping us honest and making sure we can show this off, and as well to Rydia Lover, sorry, J-Mac, for joining me up in the booth and providing me with a great co-commentator and lots of laughs, as you can hear right now.
Oh, well, and thank you to Daphis, who was my first comms partner, and who I continue to really enjoy sitting in the booth with and talking about free enterprise.
Absolutely. I thought about that when I saw we were prepared together. I'm like, the return of your first time. It was a good sign. And speaking of good times, we find more dragons shuffled around on the moon. We have D-Lunars ready to do a little bit of work against our team here. I think this was in the Ogopogo spot, so
Yes.
lower HP, but as you see, the physical does not mess around.
Oh, no. Yeah, this spot is also super punchy.
Yeah, this is the spot where it's like, no matter what boss you find here, it's not a good time. It has high physical attack, it has high magical attack, it's very fast. Tell me the RNG is not perfect here. Okay, I was gonna say, that would have been bloody wonderful. Oh, although what you could do is you could attack the one frog in the back. I say it here, Rick Benner does it there. You attack the one frog in the back, and that actually triggers the virus script, meaning that they are just going to keep bouncing off of the frog guy, and you just constantly watch him kill his friend. And we even Bacchus up some Rosa. I love all the berserking that's happening here.
I just love all of the unique strategies that have been on exhibit by all of our runners tonight. Gotta love, knowing how to fight different bosses, and there's so many like niche strategies that, I just like watching people fight these bosses very creatively.
That's very true. Also, I wonder if that was that's very interesting. Was that a counter to its own virus? I've never seen an AI do that. Can we get somebody who knows the scripts real quick? Hey, could someone come here for a minute? That is a sand ruby, though, as Rex Banner gets through with Rosa just doing some damage. That was a again, things you don't often see in Free Enterprise and entertains you when you see script go, I didn't know it worked like that.
And while you were busy distracted by the D-Lunars script, Fiery Blizzard did in fact get a rat tail from the pan turn in. So you are kind of a witch.
Hey, look, if you just do nothing but wild and crazy calls the entire time you're on comms, you're going to get something right here and there. But we do have ourselves a twin harp. That's exactly what we like to see. We have the music for the people. I am really excited if Fire Blizzard is going to take that first, or if we're going to go somewhere else, because that is some low HP, and that is a free heal. Rex Bender says, I've got enough levels now. We're going to go and do a fight here against this Baigan who... Oh, that's a big hit on that foo.
Meanwhile, we have the Maiden Quebec, who is up at the top of tower fighting that CPU and getting through those Global 99 hits pretty quickly.
You love to see it. Main Quebec. I think this is actually the second one up here. Yeah, because it was just the Avenger last time. I say it's our second check up there. Cheeky, but you'll take the experience when you need as much of it as you possibly can get.
Meanwhile, Jbrun TR is doing one of the moon grinds with the double gold dragon fights, using those hourglasses and sirens to get quite a bit of experience from each of these fights with the life glitch.
Absolutely, and this is what you can do when you've got a whole bunch of XP like just sitting in your back pocket. You got a food that can weak things down. You can just keep going and bringing people up and getting all this experience, a whole bunch of levels for people. This is what you like to see going on. Nice, quick, fast life glitches. Not quite double item, or sorry, 10 key item double XP, but it's XP, and we're gonna get our first look here at the boss. And oh, which one is it? Calling my shot, Alt Gauntlet.
I mean, well, Alt Gauntlet was not at the Massa altar. So, Jbrun says, you know what, let me go out and save it first, because I just got all of that experience from my grind, and then maybe I'll go peek it and see.
Oh, absolutely. I'm here for shenanigans. I'm also here for, decisions that you can go, this is a smarter call. We do have Rex still getting through this fight here with Baigen. Those arms keep coming back, and they are nothing to scoff at, and especially with the wall casts coming through between Meteor and Quake. Quake thankfully takes them out nice and fast, but he still does not mess around with his physical hits.
Yeah, but there is such thing as an arm grind, so I'm sure Rex will not hate all the extra experience he'll get once he's done with this, because he's beat those arms at least 4 times so far.
I was gonna say, this is the spot for it too. This is where you get all that experience. And poor Rosa, that's not who you hit. Ed, no, go for the body. We got the arms being taken out. Don't worry about it. We got 3 different grinds we're seeing here. We've got the... Oh, and I was right. So we do have the Alt Gauntlet here. We're going to be here for a hot second. So, J-Mac, you want to explain why we call it Alt Gauntlet?
Yes. So in the vanilla game, you fight a gauntlet of fights at Fabul. And so instead of just fighting those same weaker bosses, we have actually randomized the gauntlet. So depending on where you find the gauntlet, you will end up fighting monsters from that area of the map. So here we see some silver Ryus as well as warlocks and bones. I have not fought the gauntlet here enough to know what else is here though.
I cannot quite remember what else is here. I do know all the enemies that are in this section. I just don't know what we fight. But speaking of fighting, Rex Banner through that Baigen, that is required because that was a Bahamut for Little Rydia, as well as the Legend Sword. And that is what we love to see.
Yes, so the 2 fights that we've been about, both of those have been required so far, that Baigen and that Evil Wall. So if this Alt Gauntlet is also required, this is just going to be a seed that is funny and has some jokes.
If those are required, y'all better get yourself some popcorn, sit back, relax, and enjoy your Friday night, because we're going to be here for a minute before some of these people go through and take some of those fights. But I'm also here for the fact that we have a Bahamut slinging Rydia on our field.
Always gotta love it for sure. Now we are seeing something interesting on Jbrun's screen. We have a base level Rydia. I wonder if Jbrun has forgot that Sea Hero means Sid is our agility anchor.
I mean, considering he also went and showed off the winners of the previous races, I almost wonder if he's here showing off some shenanigans and some more memes. And just everyone just throws Rydia on the ground anyways.
That is probably true. Jbrun would do that.
Forgot, but yeah, he's taken up the mantle of throwing memes around while I've been gone, so I'm here for this.
So we do see yet another free fight on the Crystal Altar. We see Rex Banner having turned our guards into frogs. So these will be very, very easy to beat and get more experience and maybe find one of our other key items we need.
Indeed, and we're going to see a little bit of a life glitch happening here, which I'm 100% down for. The more experience we can get, especially on this Rydia, the faster we can get her to nuke for when we get to later on, vis-a-vis this Zeromus fight that is incoming. Maiden Quebec gets through both the fights in Dwarf, gonna be getting his Darkness Crystal, whereas Fire Blizzard is still doing and cracking some eggs.
Yep, I don't hate this decision. Go ahead and grind, grind early, grind often, get all the levels that you need, and then just go and take out everything very quickly, as opposed to Rex, who we saw going to the moon and getting his experience while fighting through some of these bosses. Two very different strategies, both of which are very viable.
Absolutely. And we also see the problem with some of these enemies here. You think, oh, this isn't going to be that big of a problem. Let me introduce you to what the red giants can do if you let them live long enough. Those auto attacks do not mess around. We're also seeing part of the warlock scripts where they go elemental attack, psych, and then into drain. And hey, look, that dude hurts. Rex Banner gets through the free fight. Nothing but an item that you're not unhappy to see, but most of the moon coming up empty, really.
Yeah, but at least a crystal ring with Fu is going to make him hopefully RA1. So that'll help with the Z fight too, with your agility with Sid. So that's not a bad find. It's not what you want, but it's definitely not an item you hate to have.
Oh, absolutely. And we do see a chunk of damage still going up by Sid. This fight here with the red giant and the warlocks could be a bit of a stymie to some of our runners, just because it's a fight you're not really expecting to be this rough. Especially when the rest of the gauntlets everywhere else like, whatever, not a big deal. And also Sid not focus firing someone down is the problem.
Yeah, this is hate to see that, but also yeah, those red giants and warlocks are no joke. Like, they're nothing to scoff at for sure. And together, that's a very deadly combination.
Absolutely, especially after you've gone through a couple of fights. If you're not ready for it, and this is what we say, it's like we've got some great runners here tonight, and along with some less experience. And it doesn't matter the experience level. Jay Brunter is a fairly experienced runner, and he's still bouncing off fights that you look, this shouldn't be that big of a deal, or you go, that shouldn't be that hard, and it just RNG can do a lot of bad things to a party. HP damage dealt here can make it so that later on it's not a great time.
This is so true. And you know what? Bosses that you fought a lot of different times at the same spot change depending on your party too. So, I mean, there's so many factors with this game, and that's why we love running it so much. It's so complex.
Absolutely. And we see Maiden Quebec is looking at these fights underground, saying, I've got enough experience, I can make this happen, and is zerking up the melees, and we're going to see some damage. Yeah, the damage that it's doing now, not even close to what it could be. Still getting cast out. We're going to see a chunk of damage coming from this Edge and this Sid, which is a little bit different from Rex Banner, who's been, actually not Rex Banner, from Fire Blizzard, who's been saying, hey, Porm can do more damage, right?
Yes, I do love the bravery made in Quebec saying, you know what, I'm going to take on this evil wall. I've got this in the bag. Because that evil wall is literally a scary monster. I mean, look at this, monster coming out of this wall. But also, it's just a really scary boss to find almost anywhere, especially as a newbie runner.
Absolutely. I think this, and to a lesser extent Rubicante, are probably some of the scarier fights just in the free enterprise, for the simple fact that there are some counter scripts that you might not even be aware of. For example, Rubicante counters everything with his fire casts, so you have to be ready for taking a chunk of damage or anything but magic with his fire casts. But he also counters summons with ice on himself, so you're not ready for that. It's not going to be a good time either. Speaking of, Rex also finding not a good time. Another Zonk. We have a cat claw in the Mirasame altar. With the Masamune boss, as a matter of fact.
Definitely not what you want to find. So I have a feeling we're about to see Rex join Jbrun in fighting this alt gauntlet. Or maybe he'll say no. We'll see.
This is true. Rex, I think, still has a couple of more places. Actually, no, yeah, I think it's just the alt gauntlet, and at that point, if you've gone this far into the moon, then you kind of go. Speaking of going, Made in Quebec down to one person left, gets that Baron key, and gets through a really, really rough fight. Big shout out, some big props to him for doing so. Yeah, out heal before you go and take on that other fight, my friend.
Oh, he's okay. Good. Whew.
No, go back, huh? Heal. Oh, I mean, to be fair, all you really need to do is life up your characters if they've got enough MP, which it looks like from the yeah, that's enough MP on everybody. Cast your berserks and kind of just go.
Oh man, I know, but it still scares me. This is some bravery right here for sure. And just kind of showing that, you know what, you can be new, but you can definitely understand the mechanics of this game and just know what to do and be confident in that.
Absolutely, and we see the darts looking out from this edge. And remembering that he did berserk that edge, because that could have been a loss of an item, which would have been very unfortunate. But you definitely want to make sure that these mages get up their reflex soon, because if they do not, it is going to be not a good time, especially with how fast this Bahamut is. Already down to the 2 count. Yep, does remember, has 2 Star Veils, which is 2 more than you really need, because it's just going to hurt. Whereas we have Jay Brunter with the Revenge of Encounter, I think this was 4? And we have Warlock and Red Giants again, and both Porum and Sid are slinging out damage very solid. Quebec gets a couple of life up on the characters and sees, oh, that's what Blard does here. Rex Banner hot in his heels. I think 1 encounter behind?
I believe so. And while all of our runners have been in boss fights, Fiery Blizzard is the first on Restream to get 2 objectives down.
Absolutely, having finished the Baron Castle before anybody else, because he did have that great information of that is where the Baron key is, who the only other person who knows where that is right now is Main Quebec, and the other runners are saying, no, we don't want any part of this just yet, and I kind of agree with them. Oh no, Rex Banner was 2 fights behind, but Jay Brunter takes down the Warlocks, is down just to this Red Giant, and gonna get through it fairly readily. Mega Nuke getting reflected again, because this Bahamut is so fast here. Edge and Meridian don't get experience, but your ladies definitely are going to get some, and you want your healers to have all that XP for some levels.
For sure, and major props to Made in Quebec, who got through 2 very scary bosses down in the Fey March with ease and confidence.
Absolutely. Now, so this is actually something a little bit interesting. This is a boss where you're kind of okay with going in with a fast anchor, because look at how fast that Bahamut was, and look at how quickly he was getting off those Mega Nukes. Now, you were throwing your damage in between, absolutely, but the 2 Mega Nukes came out fast and furious to be within the reflect time. Now, if it was a slower anchor, you would have had less of a chance of having both of those Star Veils survive. Would have still reflected for quad 9 damage, but the fact that a faster anchor sometimes is beneficial in some of these spots.
That is good information to remember, actually. I don't think I would have thought about that.
When you're in the heat of the moment, you kind of think, oh, slow is always good, but when you're underground, but not always what you want to see. Actually, and then I'm corrected by Xenocat. Slower anchor means increased chance of having the Star Veils last. I just also thought that because the anchor was going to be faster and others were slower, it might have helped the Star Veils last longer because they were getting less ticks, but that's why we have some sages, and I'm just up here talking shenanigans in vanilla.
that is okay, because you know what? We're not perfect and we don't know everything, and that's why we rely on so many of our community members.
Absolutely. Also, as pointed out by someone in chat, the red giants also are one of the many enemies that have a lovely counter script to summons. You cast summon on it, and they just go kaboom. Could be beneficial if it kabooms on someone you're okay with, but could also be a very bad time. And that is 100% required in Alt Gauntlet. I am so here for tonight's roll.
Oh man, that's so great. I'm so glad, because just like trying to get through that and then it be nothing just feels real bad. So I'm actually really glad that all of these really difficult fights that our runners have just gone in with gusto against have all paid off objective-wise. So that's actually a really fantastic thing.
Yeah, also, huge shoutouts again to Firebird Lover for rolling this this wonderful seed that we have here. We have required summon monsters that have Bahamut and Evil Wall, required Alt Gauntlet, required Baigan at D-Lunar Spot, and just shenanigans after shenanigans, and one way underground that does not involve the Vavalis that you see. This is, honestly, for a community race, after seeing some easy stuff, this is a chef's kiss of a seed.
So we see Jaybrun is diving into the moon. Rex has finished his Alt Gauntlet. Gets a... Oh no, never mind. I was one off. But gets a Poison X drop, so that's more money.
Indeed, that's the nice thing. The second last fight always drops an item, and I think it's always the same item from that loot pool. I could be wrong about which item slot it is. I think that's just from vanilla behavior. But Maiden Quebec going to be cashing in that Baron key. 100% respect this. You have more than enough power for this section. You just want to get it done, do your objectives, do your freebies, and this is an objective that is also a freebie.
Looks like Fiery Blizzard is going to join our other runners on the moon. With 2 objectives down, he will find... What are we missing? Earth Crystal. We're missing the Earth Crystal. It is an interesting call that Fiery Blizzard is coming up to the moon having that Twin Harp. He's the only one with the Twin Harp right now. So I'm wondering if that's where our Earth Crystal is hiding.
Indeed. Also, our tracker's saying that it might have been from bonking Yang getting that pan check. So that pan may be is basically the key to the seed, because that is the last thing that we need, is that Earth Crystal to be checked. So up here, we know where everything is. So
Earth Crystal self-check, and I must have missed that.
I missed it too. I didn't know where it was. So again, shoutouts to Tall Grant for keeping us honest and letting us know where things are. That means we know where everything is. Like we as the commentators, we know where to go. It's the runners that have to put the pieces together to figure out where we're running around. Because this pan that means that evil wall is so double required. That's just entertaining to me. So it's required evil wall into Baron, which gives you the pan, into required Alt Gauntlet at Bahamut, into required Baigan at D-Lunar Spot, into who knows what we have to find at Earth Crystal. That's an interesting set of places. It's like 5 checks we only really need to do. 6 checks, which is very interesting.
For sure. And you know what? After having to fight the Alt Gauntlet and a Baigan and an Evil Wall, whatever is up on the Tower of Zot will seem like, just little potatoes.
I want it to be the Water Hag, just because it's a fight you can't get through any faster than 3 hits, and you're sitting there like, can we move along, please?
Oh, that would be too fun. Too fun.
And as noted, Fiery has reset out of the alt gauntlet, and we're also getting the view that, yep, that Yang did in fact give us the Earth Crystal. Yeah, resetting out of that alt gauntlet, I would definitely be coming back after a couple of levels. It's going to be last location on the moon 100% if I was him, but we never know. Everyone does different routing, and I'm just here to see where they go. Top-down approach from what it looks like, and I'm here. That's my general moon play. I like going from the top down. Middle out is the most optimal, if you want to have that in quotations, way of going about it, because you get the most checks that way. But it honestly is a matter of preference. Top could have all the key items, bottom could have all the key items, middle could have everything, or the moon could be just straight up haunted.
For sure. We've got a lot of of inventory rearranging, and we have Fiery Blizzard is gonna fight this Ogopogo. Not going to find anything here because this is at the Mura spot, right? Oh no, I've already lost where I am.
Yep, this is the Masamune boss at the Murasame altar.
Oh,
You are correct.
Right. You did say that. Okay.
Yeah, which we only got the crystal
cat
ring
claw.
from. Oh no, cat claw. You're right.
Okay.
And Rex Banner is about to get the bad news after coming down here, seeing the key item that you are gonna have to go and fight those summons, my friend. Our tracker saying crystal ring on the crystal sword, inflation taking over. I mean, that's how it is. The moon can't keep up these days, so it has to be less crystal on the altar.
Oh, and you know what? -1 point to Rex Banner for hitting the Rope of Shame and not checking the Rope of Shame chest.
Ah, yes, and we have Made in Quebec checking the treasury, one of our favorite memes. This is Cecil at a 10? Double Zeus gauntlets. I saw a crystal sword. I saw a Stardust rod in there as well, I think. That's your physical fighters at a 10, really, with a little splash for your mages.
Yeah, I definitely don't hate a Stardust rod, especially with the Fu in your party. That's gonna make his dudes.
Rydia with Bahamut,
Yeah.
Rydia, period. Like, the only other way we get... Honestly, I think this Rydia is staying with us to Z unless there is exactly a Cecil up here. Because you have a Crystal Sword Avenger Cecil that you can play around with, and you don't really need anything other than that.
And you definitely don't need that many levels either.
Oh, hey, look, another power shirt. I love that Made in Quebec is still looting. Like, this just, again, just appeals to my little loot goblin heart. I love everything that I can see loot-wise, and it's just a good dang time.
I am going to give props to Made in Quebec for getting that Earth Crystal and immediately going to check it because it is an objective, and you have no idea if this is going to actually be one of your required key items or not.
Exactly. Like, we saw the Baron Key. It led right into the Pan, which leads into the Earth Crystal. That is one chain for 2 objectives through one boss fight originally. It's you look at this fight like this and go, maybe this isn't necessary. We don't really need to do it now. But if you, like, we did it now, and we're going to have 2 full objectives out of this. In fact, this is going to be, actually, well, we did have the Troya Treasury open, so this could be where half of Forge is. It could be where anything else. Like, we're still missing where the package is. That's another character check. And we know where pretty much every other key item is, aside from that. So it's like, as a runner, when you have this and you're being forced, and I say forced in a loose way, into seeing this line of thought, this is a very smart play.
Alright, so Rex Banner has headed back down the Fey March to take on this very hard required evil wall because he has exhausted all of his other options.
Indeed. And J-Brun
J-Brun TR makes very, very quick work through that Baigen.
Yeah, you do yourself a gauntlet. You've got some levels. He gets himself the Legend Sword, gets himself Bahamut. That is basically going to be your power overwhelming for anybody else, and I think he's kind of knowing that he's got pretty much one place left to go after these 2 checks, and I don't think he wants to do it, but you gotta have to, my friend.
But you know, once you've fought all the bosses on the moon, like, the Feymarch isn't really that scary anymore.
No, this is very true. He's going to make shorter work of it, but it's also the fact of it is, if someone gambles the right way, they will have to have fought less bosses, and they will get through in a faster-ish time. But again, no call is the wrong call. It is just less correct with the information you have. Every call is the right call when you're in the moment of it. It's just it's different decision making.
Oh, for sure.
Like, we up here, we know that Maiden Quebec is going to find herself a Zonk, which is going to be... Actually, no, this is going to be exactly package, because that's the only thing that can be here. So, we're going to find package. We have a Kane, who we would have loved to have had about, an hour ago, with that White Spear and the Avenger. But yeah, like, unless there's exactly a Cecil here, because I'm not... If I see that package, I'm going to not take it, probably. Oh, we can also have Pocketed Harp. That's true. Xenocat points that out. I would be tempted to take this Edward just because Spoon, even though we've basically done all the leveling we're going to really need to do.
No, you don't take an Edward right now.
I would.
That's so silly.
Yeah, and that's why I lose races. If you're not doing shenanigans, you're not playing Free Enterprise my way.
This is true. This is so true.
The only way to play Free Enterprise is through shenanigans, and I will fight anybody who says otherwise. No, the way you play Free Enterprise is up to you. I'm just a big fan of throwing as many memes into a stream as possible, and everybody loves Power Shirt, Spoon, Zeus Gauntlet Eddie, because who doesn't like to see little Bard Boy doing all the damage in the world?
This is true.
Also, as Xenocat points out, we do have the entirety of the moon bosses to do, so that is a lot of XP on Edward. Might get him over 1300 HP threshold, hopefully, but that'd really be about it. Speaking of getting over, Rex Banner is getting over this wall, finds himself the Baron Key, and says, you know what, we're gonna life up people, and we're gonna either leave or take this other fight. Yeah, takes the other fight. Because you still don't know what... oh no, has already done that fight, my bad. Finishes off and is going to be taking that direct route through the remainder of the 2 objectives.
Oh, we do find a Wyvern up here, and he is going to cast Size because Witchburn is on, so that's just silly, and we'll be able to get through this Wyvern pretty quickly.
Opening Size, that's just fun, especially when Rosa goes to try and shoot an arrow and then proceeds to punch. That's just entertaining when it's that just that level of events. And we're going to have Wyvern pushed away with Leviathan, washing him away from the tower.
That's a cute song. I like that song.
It's fantastic. In fact, if you play the critically acclaimed MMORPG... I'm not going to do that. No, I'm not going to do that tonight.
Oh, goodness gracious.
You too would be able to hear that song if you go through and fight Leviathan in 2.3 of the storyline. Regardless, Fiery Blizzard is going and fighting another moon boss, shuffled around, and we're going to see if we're just going to see the Lunar Frog strats, which I assume so here, or the general beatdown, because that's a lot of power on his side.
So we do get the package from the Tower of Zotchek, which means that our Twin Harp holds a Zonk, because we have seen every other key item in this seed. So I don't think we're going to be getting Twin Harp music, which makes me very sad because I always love a good required harp.
Absolutely. And we have going from the side. That is where our Cecil is. This early on, still in the seed, I 100% agree with going and grabbing Cecil. You have Crystal Sword, Power Shirt, Zeus Tauntlet. You don't need anything else. You can, even if he has like level 30, he's going to be doing more damage than pretty much anybody else now. So I agree with this, and the little bit of time that you're going to be running through this check, especially with how many bosses are left, this is going to be time well spent and brought back on the Z fight.
That's very, very true. My question is, who is Made in Quebec going to drop?
Kane, I love my boy, but he's got to go.
See, I feel like he's setting up for Zerker.
That is the other possibility. You do,
and he's going to drop the Rydia.
Yeah, Rydia is the other opportunity for what you do pick up. She is still requiring a lot of HP. She's barely at 1,000. She's not even at 1,000 HP right now. And by the time Cecil gets to about 1,400, she might be cresting around the 1,500 HP mark, meaning that she's still shy of Nuke. Meaning Cecil will officially be more useful in the Z fight. Again, I love Rydia. And actually, this is kind of apropos. It's, oh, hey, look, we have a Cecil. Rydia, you can stay here. But this is where you find me. Now, the real question is, what bosses let this be? If this is going to be Water Hag, this is technically French vanilla, or vanilla, because it's the only place where we can fight the Water Hag, because we can't fight it in its vanilla proper location. Oh, Octomammoth, hello.
I love seeing all of his tentacles come in, like, in a row.
It is very entertaining to see all the tentacles just, like, walk through and you're like, can I help you? One quick arrow, and that is a heap and helping of damage is going to be on our side. And speaking of damage, it's actually interesting that we have a fair bit of divergence in squads right now. We have Rydias on most teams. We have double Rydias on some teams. And now we have... No, my boy! And now we have Rydia pretty much everywhere, at least. And obviously Sid, because you can't get rid of him. But the real question is Made in Quebec going to drop the Rydia for the food when we get them?
Oh, that is true, because Made in Quebec has not been up to the moon yet. My guess would be yes.
And here's the problem when you get a character with a bow, when you have no inventory left, you kind of have issues all over the place. The big problem with T Wildish, you want to keep everything.
This is true. It's such a lesson that you have to learn, is that it's okay to sell things that you're not going to need.
It is honestly the hardest lesson, that you need to sell stuff.
And the second hardest lesson is, you know what? It's okay to use an elixir, like, ever.
What? Who told you such shenanigans and blasphemy? I hold those for the next seed, thank you very much. How dare you fill these little pink puffs that could be out there with such words of lies? Don't you ever? No, I absolutely agree. You use those elixirs whenever you possibly can, because you can't take them with you.
No, you can't. But I still don't use them. It's very sad.
Oh, I'm so bad about them too. Don't worry.
So Jabron is headed down the sealed cave because he too wanted to avoid the evil wall at Feymarch at all costs. And Rex Banner is about to get his third objective lit up, and all he has to do is follow this pan and he will be ready to go to Z.
This is true. Also, before I talk about our first place finishers, we're going to talk about how we're going to ignore what Xenocat just said in chat. You don't leave the boxes closed. You open every single one of them. You have to find the next box. The next box could have the nicer thing in it. That's where the really nice stuff is.
Also, I don't think we found a white shirt yet, so clearly we haven't opened enough boxes.
See, exactly. But speaking of opening, we have our first place opener done with Rybon finishing the race off stream. First place, 1 hour, 39 minutes, and 39 seconds. Followed very swiftly with just being sniped out by him. We have Possum Morpheus, second place, 1 hour, 35 minutes, and 45 seconds. GG's to them, and well-raced seed considering what kind of shenanigans we've had. Yes, those of you in chat, please ignore anything that you hear about using elixirs and buying items using these chests, leaving them open. No, you keep all the items for you for next seed. Artemis Bow, Glass Hat, Defense Sword, and Life Staff. Those are some fun items to get at this point in the game.
We've got 2 defense swords, probably as darts. Oh, and it is a Gigant Axe.
I'm kind of here for that. That's a really solid damage weapon that you're going to have there. Not quite Fiery Hammer level, but still really good. Wait, so Xenocat also commenting in chat, you can feed everything to Big Chocobo. Wait, what level does Rydia learn that summon?
She starts with Chocobo.
Yeah, but it's the little Chocobo, not the fat Chocobo. Where do you get the big Chocobo summon from?
That's true.
Fiery Blizzard finding just the Zonk here and says, I don't want to see it anymore. Because you know exactly what you got to do. You got to go and face that alt gauntlet, and it is not a kind gauntlet to be fighting.
Oh. No, maybe we get music. Do we get music?
I'm so here for this. Oh, absolutely wonderful. That is dedication to not wanting to do a fight right there. I'm so okay with it.
Yay! Fiery Blizzard being a runner of the people tonight, going to give us music. We know this is going to be a complete song. Fiery Blizzard does not. So thanks for that.
Absolutely. Now, the real question is, see, the thing is, and I kind of understand why Fire Blizzard's doing this, is we have the Earth Crystal and we have the Harp in tow. Generally, if you have the possibility, you kind of want to do 2 checks at the same time that are going to be leading to the same spot. So like Earth Crystal Baron generally, or Harp into Earth Crystal, just so you're going in that same region. That's like if you're trying to do like things in the most the fastest way possible or the most efficient way. Sometimes efficiency doesn't work because it could be the Earth Crystal that gives you something that you have, and the Harp check could be nothing, whereas we know that the Earth Crystal gives us nothing right now.
But that is okay, because we're going to get some music here in a minute.
And the Earth Crystal is... Sorry, the Harp is always a good time.
For sure. And just like with everything, the harp music is randomized, and we have some fantastic composers, including our own Xenocat in chat tonight, who has done so many fantastic tunes. So we are about to hear one of the great compositions here in just a minute, and we are going to be quiet because we get rewarded.
This is a fantastic reward, you're right. I'm honestly excited for a repeat of one of the Mario RPG soundtracks that seem to keep popping up every time I'm on Restream, but I'm gonna be a little quiet while Eddie walks through. Unlike that enemy, please don't burn me. I'm not a witch, I promise. Wondering if my co-commentator is still dying from dying from laughter still. So that was in fact Mushroom Way from Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars. I don't.
Oh, guys, y'all, I'm crying so hard right now.
But speaking of, Rex Banner has finished the last objective, got his crystal, and is gonna see. I swear, if I call this right, I'm done commentating for the next month. Like, the third thing I would have called tonight, and all good things come in threes. We have Fire Blizzard looting the treasury, while we have the Z flags out. As we mentioned, there's many things going on. We have the Z sprite is one of the other things that we randomize here, and this sprite that I said was going to be Vanillamus, which was my reward for doing a whole bunch of restreaming and tracking during one of the tournaments. If this is Vanillamus, I'm not a witch, I promise. I just play a lot of D&D and roll a lot of dice. That's about it. My RNG is finally keeping up with me. Oh, good. I still get the comment.
Oh, good. No retirement from Bathos.
There's no way.
Oh gosh. Okay. Well, that was a lot of fun.
While we were listening to that fantastic music and we get to fight Weissmuth, we had two more finishers, with Invenerable finishing at 1 hour 46 minutes and 30 seconds. Both finishing with 1 hour 46 minutes and 31 seconds, literally 1.24 seconds behind. That is really big sniping. GG's to the two of them. And we also like to thank and welcome all the people from Morpheus' raid. We're on our Z fight. This is gonna be a good time.
Okay.
I'd like to also say that I have made my co-commentator die with laughter because I've called one thing that I have no right absolutely calling, but we're here anyways.
Alright, yeah, okay, I'm better. Alright, we are ready. J Brun is getting his third objective lit up, and he will then follow the pan to get his Earth Crystal and be able to go to Z as well. Fiery Blizzard is in Baron right now. No, he's not in Baron. Where is he?
It is in the Tower of Zod. That is
That's
Zod
right.
1 fight.
That's right. So he is checking to see if maybe his go mode is going to be in Zot instead of behind that alt gauntlet, which we all know is where it is. And Made in Quebec is up on the moon and headed to fight some of these bosses up here after doing a very powerful egg grind.
Absolutely. There's a whole bunch of places for some experience. Like if you jump into the corner, Jay Brunter going to be getting this last item here. The Bacchus wines are fantastic. 20 purchased. That's all about asserting dominance, because that's more than enough Bacchus for any character for the remainder of the seed release. We're going hard on this long weekend for everybody. Drink your dwarven wine responsibly.
Oh, for sure, for sure. But you know what? It's a party. It's a long weekend. We're ready for that for sure.
So Made in Quebec's got the drinks. We have Rex Banner bringing us the fireworks with some fire threes and some big bangs. This is fantastic. Also for our tracker, Fire Blizzard has gone through Sealed Cave already, knows that I don't want anything to do with that, and is just saying, please don't make me do that all gauntlet. Hello, Wyvern, instead. Yeah, Big Bang goes off.
Is gonna go and hopefully take this on, hopefully power through it, or he too will end up last locationing.
Yeah, we have Gibraltar getting Objective 4 going to be lit up, going to go outside, save, and then going to be right behind Rex Banner's heels with that pass. And we are going to see how quick that Z fight's going to be, because enough damage, and he could catch up to Rex Banner and maybe even surpass him. Reflex strats and counting HP are really big. speaking of big, Made in Quebec has a chonky lad in the Cecil with 2700 HP and a crystal sword in tow. There is nothing in this gauntlet that is going to even stand up to that. I don't care what you have. No, done. This fight's done. We're going to see part of the Legend Forge happening. No food pickup, but still just no.
Yeah, I kind of forgot for a second that he has a crystal sword Cecil. So nothing on the moon is going to give him much trouble at all. And he should be getting the 2 parts of his forge pretty quickly. Just a matter of what bosses he decides to check first.
Yeah, and it's going to be going back to the Earth. That's going to be the biggest headache, and I say that in quotes right now because you have to go down and you have to exit out. You have to take the walk through, and it is a long walk. And Fire Blizzard taking the long walk that he has been trying to fight off this entire seed, and I understand this alt gauntlet when you have the power that he has. Again, not going to be a problem, but it's just. Oh, he's got the Bahamut now, so never mind. It's have to be fine. It's just not what you're looking to see. But speaking of what you want to see, you want to see those Meteos. You want to see everybody else dodge. And Rex Banner, we're going to see the crack, bang, boom, real dang quick. And we're going to see what place he's going to finish in. Speaking of, there's the crack, bang, boom. 1 hour, 53 minutes, 26 seconds, your 5th place finisher overall, your 1st place finisher on stream. That is, they finish right there. GG's to him. As well, right behind him, we have 2 more finishers. 6th place, Flurry 14, the Iceman himself, 1 hour, 53 minutes, 32 seconds. And Microcorgs at 7th place, 1 hour, 53 minutes, 51 seconds. Within 1 minute, we've had 3 different finishers. That shows just the staple of these runners and just what level of skill we're seeing, that some of the higher names of like that are finishing around this time too. GG's to them. Get them out in chat. I'm going to see if we can get them in for an interview.
While we are waiting for Rex Banner, we see Jay Brown finally entering his sea fight as well. He should be set up to take the seed down very quickly. And we see on the left side of our screen, both Fiery Blizzard and Made in Quebec are taking on this alt gauntlet in the Bahamut spot.
Indeed, this is half of what Made in Quebec needs, and this is the last bit of what Fire Blizzard needs. We have a couple of different things. Oh, and we're about to see the summon counter again. Or just death. That works too. And speaking of that works too, we have Rex Banner, our 5th place finisher overall. GG's on the time, my friend.
Thank you. GG's to everyone else in the race.
So, Rex, how was that race for you? Did you love all the bosses you fought?
If they could quit punching everyone so hard, would have been great. I don't know what I did to anger them, but I've never had them hit that many people just that hard repeatedly.
Or take it you liked the overworld.
Yeah, the overworld wasn't bad. Moon. I generally love the moon, but me and the moon today were not getting along. And then that evil wall. Mm-hmm.
What's wrong with the alt gauntlet at Bahamut?
Oh, that I actually wasn't as sad about because I did want a bit of a grind, so it wasn't exactly what I wanted to see, but when I seen it, I wasn't like, oh, okay, I'm like, well, like, at least I get a bit of a grind for my characters. Still was shy on Rydia for Nuke.
So, here's my question for you. You were presented with the Fey March, or you were presented with the moon, and you chose the moon. What was your thought process behind going ahead and going up there pretty quick?
It was honestly, I was debating about maybe doing some Mac Giants to grab that other Rydia, do a quick Siren, get the other Rydia into slingshot range, and then see if we could maybe get a couple Rydias to nuke. When I got up there and found Fu, it's just like, well, I don't need to waste my time doing that anymore. He has nuke. but I generally prefer the moon over it, especially when my options are Evil Wall, CPU. They're not options I care about. The Bahamut I wasn't as worried about, but it was Evil Wall and CPU. I would rather they just stay there and hopefully not required.
Well, unfortunately, every boss that you kind of just want to, avoid in the seed was actually hard required. With that alt gauntlet, that Baigen, with your incredible arm grind. Thank you for showing that off. That was great. And that evil wall.
So what was your favorite part of the seed then, Rex?
The gigantic axe, when I got that, I'm like, ooh. I'm like, okay, at least now Sid can hit hard. I was a little worried going into the Z fight at 26 agility, but the gigantic axe was about the best part of that entire seed, I would say. I should say the dwarf axe I always liked the dwarf kit or whatever, getting the dwarf axe off the start, especially with the Sid hero. You don't have to go running around looting to be able to start doing stuff.
Speaking of, that loot gave you a lot of stuff for your lady archers to start off. You had a heroine robe, you had samurai bows. How'd you feel about all that level of shenanigans?
I like that. I am a huge fan of the Porum or Rosa heroine samurai bow. They can do a lot of damage, they can carry you through a lot of early game stuff. It's a little worse on hero because you're stuck on one character's agility, but overall I'm a fairly big fan of heroine robe and samurai bows for the Porum and Rydia, or Rosa. Well, even Rydia.
True, we even found a dragon whip in one of the shops if you really wanted to.
I'm fine. She generally makes a pretty good napper, but this seed, it wasn't an option.
No, it wasn't. And this commentator was happy it was not.
I figured you would be happy, J-Mac.
Absolutely. Alright, any last final thoughts about the seed?
Not really, just thank you folks for this. Thank you Firebird for restream. Thank you Tall Grant for pushing buttons and keeping them away from Possum. And thank you to J-Mac and you, Dothis, for the commentary. I'm sure it was a wonderful time. I'm gonna have to give this a good watch back.
You absolutely should. It was a fantastic race to commentate, and a whole bunch of shenanigans happened all around. Any other questions for him, J-Mac?
Nope, I just wanted to say happy Canada Day, Rex, and I hope you have a good weekend.
Alrighty, thank you, and happy Canada Day to all the other folks from around here.
Again, that was Rex Banner, 5th place finisher overall, 1st place finisher on stream, 1 hour, 53 minutes, 26 seconds. GG's to him, and fellow Canadian hoser, eh? So we also have Jay Brunter, who is finished on stream at 9th place, 1 hour, 59 minutes, 17 seconds, which he was just behind Antidale at 8th place at 1 hour, 57 minutes, and 10 seconds. And just before Charlie at 10th place, 1 hour, 59 minutes, and 47 seconds. Jay Brunter is not going to be joining us for an interview. He's declined as he possibly can. He is got some other stuff to do. Again, we thank him for his time for running for us tonight. Put on a fantastic shows, and get your GGs out for him, and make sure you guys follow these fantastic runners on the show they put on for us tonight.
For sure. Jaybrun is definitely a runner that loves his memes and is just very entertaining to watch. So definitely follow him, follow Rex Banner, Fiery Blizzard, and Made in Quebec. Share our love and support with all of these fantastic runners who are putting on the show for us this Friday evening. And so while we were interviewing with Rex and Jaybrun was finishing up the sea fight, Fiery Blizzard did make it through that alt gauntlet, got his forge, and is now also headed to his sea fight, which should be another pretty quick one because he has a very, very strong party for sure.
Indeed. Both parties that are here, we have a whole bunch of XP. I think that is Iridia at level 60. That is going to be some nuke we're going to be seeing going on. So yeah, it doesn't matter which fight we see, whether it's Made in Quebec or whether it's Fiery Blizzard. That's going to be a very fast Z fight on both sides.
Oh, for sure. Now, Made in Quebec is taking the top-down approach, which means that he is going to, find that that legend sword pretty late. Not saying that is the wrong choice. It is just a choice that happens to not be the correct one in this particular seat. So he's going to probably fight through all of those bosses on the way down to finding that Baigen.
True. However, most top-down approaches usually involve doing the cave value first, Bahamut Cave, before going in. So top-down, generally not a bad strategy. Also going to mean that he's going to miss the last check, which is the Nasadian Altar. So he could have done bottom-up and had a bad time. Had to do less fights, but still, Crystal Ring. Not bad what you want to find on pretty much anybody else to throw on and let them go. And that's just going to be more power overwhelming and one or two less swings for when we do get to the fight of Zeromas. Or any other fight, really. This Crystal Sword Cecil is going to be fantastic.
This is very true. That Crystal Sword Cecil Berserk is just going to pretty much single-handedly kill that Z very quickly. But, with the Gigant Axe...
Oh, absolutely.
He's not going to really stand a chance at this point.
We've got a Crystal Sword, we've got a Geigen Axe, we've got a whole bunch of Bacchus Wines, and we have a healer. So, I mean, you kind of just... Nothing bad going to happen here whatsoever. It's just, we're here for a good time. Zeromas ain't going to be here for a long time. Let's just say that.
Well, the good news is Made in Quebec is going straight to the Ribbon Room, which we know to be the last required spot. And with that Crystal Sword Cecil, he should make very, very quick work of this Baigen and will be joining Fiery Blizzard in his Z fight momentarily.
Absolutely. And speaking of, we have the Silk Web out, we have the darts being thrown. And look at that. Perfect reflect on that counter nuke. That's exactly what you love to see.
Yes, gotta love when Z decides to do exactly what you want him to do.
Quad 9s from that dart. Let's go. This is going to be a fight that's pretty much all done with the Cryan, aside from Sid doing a whole bunch of, taking his beats and going to town. This is going to be reflected 3 spells per round. Edge is just going to yeet anything that's in our inventory because we don't need it after the seat. And I know it's really hard for us to agree on, J-Mac, but we can use the elixir. I promise, it's okay.
I don't even think you're going to need to use them. Sid has 6,000 hit points right now.
That's not enough.
I think he could take, almost 3 complete unnerfed Big Bangs at this point.
The third one would probably put him in the ground, yeah, but no, he'll take it. He'll take the damage, and then he's like, oh, I guess maybe we should pick him up. The more entertaining one is when you get a Big Bang into a black hole, and then you accidentally nuke down your Sid, and he's like, oh, that was a mistake. Edge looking for the kitchen sink right now because we've thrown everything else. Oh, look, there's still a white spear we can throw. Ah, the spoon. And we have so many more things we can throw. Oh, Zorma says no thank you, though. Fire Blizzard managed to count damage just enough that we missed the HP refill skip. Finishes 11th on stream with 2 hours, 6 minutes, and 11 seconds. GG's to them. That is a lot of damage that came out real quick, and we didn't see even half the fight, technically.
No, we did not. But with all of that power, it is it is not unexpected to just zoom right through.
Oh no, that's exactly what you'd like to see. Again, get your GGs out in chat is a good time whatsoever, and we're gonna drag down Fire Blizzard. And again, hello Fiery, GGs on that 11th place finish and that really quick Z fight.
Yeah, thanks. I was hoping to put in there at the end. Just miscounted a little bit.
Well, we didn't notice.
All that matters is that Z went down real quick. Okay, so let's start. You have yourself your Sid, you have yourself your White Mage. That overworld's pretty much solid, except for a little bit of power. How do you like going through that that required ordeals?
I'm just impressed that the one time I got through it, all I did was hold A and did nothing else.
Sometimes that's how you do it.
Yeah, that was
Magus sisters were no joke.
no. The magic power is high, apparently. Or at least you have no HP, I guess.
That's the thing. No one really realizes what certain spots' stats are until you fight them with bosses that shouldn't be there. But speaking of bosses that shouldn't be there, that Fey March, you left that for a long while and decided you didn't want any part of it. What made you not want it?
What? I did Fey March the first time I went up there.
Oh, was it either? Oh, that's right. You left the alt gauntlet till the end.
Yes.
Why did you leave that for so long?
Mainly, I don't know. I had Artemis arrows and Artie bow, but I was like, I have other things I can do, and I had 2 key items that I needed to find because I didn't have the legend sword or the adamant. I was like, okay, this is just gonna go to the end. And then getting the Luca key from the White Spear altar, I was just like, fine, I'm gonna go back to Earth. I've left that, I've left Zot, and I've left Harp. So let's just go do that. And
Well,
it's unfortunate.
We definitely appreciated you doing the music because you were the only one that even had the twin harp. So you were the only one that could do that check for us. So we do appreciate that. But you were very, very quick, the first one on Restream, to take on that evil wall and find out that that evil wall was in fact required. And that was just the first of 3 terrible bosses that ended up being required. So how did that feel after getting through that evil wall with your murder poem?
I mean, it felt like it was in a pretty good place, because at that point, I think the only thing I had really trouble with was the Magus sisters and the Vowel. That's like, okay. And then it led to, what, that gave Pan, which led to, or Baron Key, which led to Pan, which led to Earth Crystal, something like that? I don't remember. I was like, okay, this is pretty good. And then, like, okay, I'm gonna fade Harp, I'm gonna fade Earth Crystal. And then I should have just stuck to it. But I was like, okay, I have a ribbon. I think I got that from the 3rd trap chest in Eblin Castle. So I was like, okay, Evil Wall is all I need to do is survive to crush phase, and then it's a free win. And Porum has a Heron rope, so I figured I just need to get people up and hopefully cure over it. That's just what happened. Would not have taken that if I didn't have a ribbon. Although it didn't even come in handy, really. I guess it took a little bit of defense in, but didn't even get to crush phase.
Yeah, definitely what I loved about that fight in particular was you were showcasing a character that doesn't really get to like show her power all the time. And then your Edge was the one throwing out Cure 2s, which we rarely see Edge be a chemist. So that was just a really a good time to watch on Raystream for sure.
Yeah, it's just only one person was doing damage at that point, right? Just get her all the turns. I wanted Rydia to hit more things. I tried because I knew you were on comms.
Oh, I appreciate it. Look, she was summoning and doing all sorts of stuff, so I'm good. I had a great time tonight.
It's long seed for me, I guess. 17 out of 17, which is always a fun time.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Now I'm trying to remember, where was Harp? Guess we're gonna
Sheila too? No?
I think Harp was actually at the the Masamune altar, because that's the one that...
No, because I had Harp what before I went to the moon.
Yeah.
Rat Tail.
Oh, it was Rat Tail, okay. which
In
I
the
had my wrist.
okay.
Okay.
The pink tail was in the basement because that's
Yes.
what was down there. That's right.
Which I turned in immediately because I'm like, this could be a Masa, and I want something for an edge, and it turned out to be a Masa, so I was happy.
Wait, so technically, Sheila 2 was the harp, just in a roundabout way. It was just the rat tail from Sheila 2.
Yeah. It's good that I was able to supply some music.
Oh, absolutely. For the people, we if you in fact should go back and rewatch when you get to that part, because it was a good time. Make sure you're watching a little bit beforehand. We're not gonna spoil it for you, but enjoy the commentary around music. Is all I'm gonna say.
Yes,
All right.
that was the highlight of the show for me, for sure.
You can hear J-Mac is still dying about it, so it was a good time.
So you're happy I faded the Alt Gauntlet as long as I did?
Absolutely.
Yes, love it. Thank you so much.
It's like,
well,
I don't know. Maybe I should have been a bit more aggressive. Like, no one is done, and I had Legend Sword. And it's like I should maybe go to that Alt Gauntlet.
do you have any final thoughts on the scene?
No, not really. I mean, it was. I can't remember the last time I saw Sid have nearly 6,000 HP, to be honest.
Yeah, no. You were definitely prepared for that Z fight, for sure.
Yeah, that was not going to end well for Z. No, that's it. I mean, thank you so much for commentating Daphis and JMac, and thank you for tracking Telegrant and for the restream, FBL.
Well, thank you for putting on a great show, and we hope that you have a really great, nice long weekend.
Yeah, you too. Alright, see ya.
Again, that was Fiery Blizzard with playing the battle. Also, it's just the battle theme from Smart RPG, not the Mushroom Way. Either way, Smart RPG music that I called. I'm really wondering if I do have my witch powers somewhere. But we, again, 11th place, 2 hours, 6 minutes, 11 seconds. GG's to him, as well as GG's to Maiden Quebec, who finishes 12th place, 2 hours, 13 minutes, and 53 seconds. GG's to him, and we are going to get him in for an interview.
Is always a good time to finish a race on Restream. And so definite props to Made in Quebec for putting on a fantastic show for us tonight as well.
Agreed. Also want to give a big shout outs to, again, FBL and Tallgrant for doing the restreaming and tracking. Another huge shout outs to Fire Blizzard, Rex Banner, Maiden Quebec, and Jay Brunter for putting the time in here so that we had fantastic runs to look at, especially for this wonderful Sid-based seed. In addition, while we're waiting on Maiden Quebec to join, I'm going to give a bit of a talk about what we're going to see in the next day. We are going for the Hero's Journey tomorrow afternoon, where we have Possum Morpheus and Alchemy on the mic, where we're going to have Beauty and Discovery is our tracker, and Asuka, our very own Queen of the Puffs, is going to be restreaming that, so make sure you're watching for that.
And I believe that starts at 3 p.m. Eastern?
You would be correct.
Okay.
And again, I think that tonight's race was a very good showing of a couple of different flags that we don't really see very often. Again, I'm a big fan of T Wild-ish. I love the fantastic levels of loot that we can get. Seeing Sid specifically as the hero, the Sea Hero flag has been wildly popular and has shown different levels of anchoring and just brought a whole bunch of different things in. And speaking of different things, different players and players who are their first seeds, GG's, we are joined by Maiden Quebec.
Hey, hi, how you doing?
Great. GG's on your first Restream race.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. It was certainly a stressful experience at first.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty tough seed to begin with. You know, just I mean, the start I was just like struggling, just so hungry for something, for a key item somewhere, but they were hard to find.
Yeah,
That they
early,
were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So walk us through your early game thought process. Like you're looting things where you think you're going to go, and when you saw your starting characters, what was your thoughts of where you wanted to go first, and what was most important for you?
Well, at first, really, I didn't know too much. First, I really wanted to build a team first, and I was very negotiable on who was going to be in, as long as I had somebody to start with, And after, during the rest of the game, you'll figure out the rest, get new team members in, and then it's a bit easier to kind of like do some fine tuning. But as I was getting these characters, what I realized is that I was really struggling just to find guidance of where should I go next, because the first couple of shakes that I've had, there was like no key items. At some point, I looked at my tracker and like, oh, I think it's not working. I have 0 key items. Then I realized I had none. I was like, oh my, okay, so I really have to figure something out. But yeah, so I figured I'm gonna loot as much as I can, try to get some gear for anybody that's gonna eventually show up, and yeah, so.
Yeah, broken trackers at early games are
Yeah.
their problems sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to give you props, being a newer runner, and just kind of the confidence that you had in facing some of these really, really tough bosses. And just like I could tell that you were keeping a cool head, even if you didn't quite know the early game, but you didn't freak out. Like you kept a cool head. You knew exactly where you could go to get alternate loot and try and figure out some alternate strategies to get through some of those tougher spots. So definitely props to you for just your confidence in playing.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah. Well, I think it went well overall. I struggled a few times. I got some bugs. I know when I was trying to get Rose, I had a little bit of difficulty, but I had to leave and come back later. But overall, I think it went rather well.
Oh yeah, you weren't the only
I'm
one.
very happy with my time.
Yeah, you did very fantastic. And again, you weren't the only person. A lot of people bounced off that Valvalis fight and came back later,
Yeah.
especially after getting some levels. And that's the thing. You got to know when certain fights, like I can do this now versus it can come back later when I get some XP.
Yeah. All right. Well, so it was certainly a great experience. I can't wait to do it again. So I'm gonna be very excited to watch the stream and see what kind of comments has been said on my behalf. That's something I'm very curious about. So yeah. So far so good. So I'm probably gonna do that again sometime as soon as I can. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for volunteering and putting yourself out there and being restreamed. And you put on a great show for us on this Friday evening.
Well, thanks to all of you for making it happen. So I'll definitely do it again.
Awesome.
Wonderful.
All right.
Would you like to hear?
All right. Well, you have a good evening.
You too.
Well,
Bye.
again,
And with that, this stream is over for tonight, but that does not mean that Free Enterprise has to be over. We are going to raid over to Dr. Cossack, who is currently revealing the Pink Puff League Week 6 flags as one of the helpers for that flag set this week. So we're going to raid over there and give him some support and watch him go through those flags. But I just want a big shout out for Firebird Lover, who worked through all of the technical difficulties at the beginning to give us this great show on this Friday evening. Big thanks to Tall Grant for hitting all the buttons on most of the screens. And as always, thank you to Dathis for being a great comms partner.
and thank you very much, JMac, for being here with me. It's fantastic for us to be here tonight. Let Sid do his shenanigans, and again, letting FBL doing shenanigans as well. Have yourselves a wonderful long weekend, everybody. We shall see you tomorrow for more Free Enterprise.
Have a great night.